Meteorologist Eric Brate joining me now here at the desk. We're talking about Hurricane Harvey now, a Category 1, and expected to gain strength from there.
Yeah, it will be gaining strength. There's really nothing to hinder its strengthening. So it's got the fuel, it's got the warm Gulf temperature, a lot of energy bottled up in the Gulf of Mexico that it can draw from. And so we don't expect it to do anything but continue to strengthen as it gets towards the Texas coast. So let's get you started with a look at the map. And yes, it says Tropical Storm Harvey. That is one graphic I forgot to change the name on. It is, as Andy mentioned, Hurricane Harvey, Category 1 hurricane. Hurricane warnings from Matagorda County to Jackson County to Calhoun County on down the coast. For Metro Houston, where you see the yellow, that is a tropical storm warning. Tropical storm force winds expected around the Metro Houston area before all is said and done. Category 1 storm, 80-mile-per-hour winds. The pressure continues to drop, and that's an indication that it continues to strengthen. And as long as the pressure drops well below 1,000 millibars, it will continue to strengthen. And in fact, we take a look at the official National Hurricane Center forecast. By the time it makes landfall close to Corpus Christi, close to Victoria, 115-mile-per-hour winds. Category 3 storm, a major hurricane. And then look what happens when it gets on shore. It parks itself. It goes stationary, which is about the worst case scenario. And yes, notice Houston is up the coast from it. That means Houston is on the dirty side of the storm. So we're going to see an influx of Gulf moisture. We're going to see a lot of rain over the next several days, beginning this weekend into early next week, because into Monday, into Tuesday, notice this storm doesn't do much. It stays very near the coast and it continues to pump moisture into southeast Texas. And here's the reason why. We've got high pressure well off to our west, high pressure off to our east. Once this makes landfall, a hurricane tends to go whatever the atmospheric current is. It tends to float like a raft down a river. Whatever the prevailing current is, that's where it goes. And there's no prevailing current. These high pressure ridges are far enough away that it doesn't steer the storm anywhere. Eventually it will get picked up and it'll get kicked out, but it's going to take some time. And that's why the storm goes stationary, and that's why flooding is going to be our biggest concern, I think, around the Houston area when all is said and done. The storm looking very symmetrical. The outer bands not quite reaching shore yet, but as time goes on into the day Friday especially, we'll probably see an uptick in that. Storm surge warnings, because the winds are increasing. Storm surge warnings from Brazoria down through Matagorda County on down toward Corpus Christi. For Houston, for Harris County, I should say, for Galveston County, for Chambers County, we're talking about a storm surge watch. So where the warning is, we're talking 4 to 6, possibly even 7 foot of surge with this storm. Here are the look at the threats. Notice this: 15 to 20 inches of rain or more. Widespread flooding certainly possible. Tornadoes also, because we're on the dirty side of the storm, are likely. So that's another thing we need to worry about. European forecast model, take a look at this. It does hold Harvey. It doesn't move it much. And notice the rainfall totals. Where you see the blue here, that's about 16 inches of rain. And before it gets out of here, we're talking where the white is, just down the coast from Houston, 20 inches of rain. The American model, a little different scenario. It still places 20 inches of rain in the state of Texas, but just a different location, somewhere between Austin and the Louisiana border, a much more wide area of 20-inch rainfall. The thing we learned from this is that, well, we don't know exactly where the 20-inch rain is going to be. Most likely it'll be somewhere between Houston and Corpus Christi, where the storm hangs up over the next several days. But we're going to have to watch this closely. The only outlier really here is our in-house model, the RPM model. It wants to keep Harvey moving into northern Mexico as we head into the second half of the weekend. This would be the best case scenario, but it is not one that we can count on. So be prepared for gusty winds heading into the weekend and then flooding rains as we head out of the weekend. We've got flash flood watches in effect down the coast right now, but I would expect those to extend into the Houston area before all is said and done. Here's a look at your forecast for the rest of the day today. 30% chance for rain on and off as we head through the afternoon. Temperatures in the mid-90s. A pretty typical summertime day for us, but things go very atypical beginning tomorrow into the weekend. Big chances for rain through Monday and even possibly into Tuesday and Wednesday now. That is a look at your 10-day forecast. Of course, this is a fluid forecast, people. Things are going to change, so stay with us both here on Channel 2, online, on our Facebook page. Click2Houston.com, of course, is our website. Facebook page, we're going to have updates very, very often as we learn more information about this storm.